Please be seated. Good morning, class of 2021. I'm very grateful to be with you here today, even in these less than ideal circumstances. Unfortunately, because of COVID safety restrictions, we weren't able to allow visitors on our campus for your special day. I know this is a big disappointment for some of you and your families, but I was also disappointed. In my 2 years as president, I've yet to preside over a traditional University of Rochester commencement. But I'm really relieved and delighted that we were able to bring you, your professors, and the university staff together to celebrate this very special occasion. So with your families and friends in mind, I'd like to ask all the 2021 graduates to stand and honor your families and friends who are watching online. We know how important their support has been on your journey. And even though we couldn't have them here today, they are definitely with us in spirit. You may be seated again. So although we couldn't have guests with us, there is something pretty special about our ceremony today that I hope you'll come to appreciate over time, if not right now. When you look back on this day, this unique commencement can serve as a useful reminder of what you've overcome. And as you depart this campus and embark on your careers and live your lives, whenever you think about this day, it should remind you how adaptable, resilient, patient, and creative you can be. And you should remember that during a year of great turmoil, you rose so successfully to the occasion. When the global pandemic forced us to quarantine, curb our natural interactions, adopt social distancing, wear masks, you adapted by figuring out how to take classes, teach classes, study online, do research remotely. When COVID severely restricted our mobility globally, nationally, and even on this campus, you showed creativity by using technology to teach and learn, have research meetings, stay connected with family and friends. And when circumstances challenge your ability to complete your research, and for those of you who are TAs who had to learn how to teach online, hybrid, you demonstrated remarkable patience and resilience. You dug deep, you found inner resources you probably didn't know you had. Over these final 3 semesters, you have endured historic challenges. You've harnessed that adversity for fuel and overcome. And here you are, graduating, and I would claim you're stronger for it. As a psychologist, I'm quite familiar with research on stress and coping. And that body of research has shown that sometimes adversity prompts people to mine their inner reserves, face problems, and emerge having discovered new abilities. Sometimes people can have a transformation or positive change that you gain from struggling with a major life crisis or traumatic event. And I would claim that the last 14 months have been traumatic for all of us. You may have already noticed some benefits, like perhaps a greater appreciation of relationships, an awareness of new possibilities, increased personal strength, perhaps some spiritual enhancement, and a greater appreciation for life. I personally have developed a greater appreciation for nature during all of this, and I tell you, having just walked this morning in Highland Park, that you must go see the azaleas and have your pictures taken with your regalia on there. You look stunning in front of them. The azaleas and rhododendron are in full bloom. Another way to think of it is this: if you can survive all of this and still graduate, you can do anything. And I don't think it's an exaggeration. Many of you probably know other students here who were in the same class as you, who just had to sort of pause their studies or really failed to progress. You didn't do that. This University of Rochester class of 2021 figured out what you needed to do, how you needed to do it, and you got it done. You should take great pride in this You've proven to yourself how adaptable you are. That kind of experience should endow you with a kind of confidence that leads to seismic advances in science, culture, and governance, and hopefully makes our world an ever better place. As doctoral graduates of the University of Rochester, you've chosen to engage in the highest level of academic exploration and become true scholars. Whether you explore the deepest mysteries, brain and human behavior, study visual cultures, metaphysics, or political systems, or work on unlocking secrets in optics, or dedicating your energies to healing and well-being, or build systems that run our technology, or work to improve our educational practice while working to make our world more equitable and just, you will carry your unique life experience, the enduring wisdom of this university, and the guiding light of our Meliora ideals. We all experience adversity in different ways, but as you face the many obstacles that lie ahead on your life's journey, I am supremely confident that you have all you need to thrive. You flourished at the University of Rochester. You flourished during a global pandemic. And with your newfound strengths, capabilities, and resolve gained from this year of COVID, I'm confident you will flourish in life. So congratulations, class of 2021.
President Mangelsdorf, I have the honor to present Brian Brent for the William H. Riker University Award for Excellence in Graduate Teaching. Brian, this is a celebration, it's okay to celebrate.
It is indeed.
Brian Brent is one of the nation's foremost scholars of educational leadership. As a faculty member at the Warner School of Education, he reimagined the doctoral programs to help school administrators prepare themselves for the demanding roles of leading their schools to educational success. His ideas have transformed educational doctorate programs at Rochester and have become a model across the country. Today, Professor Brent's former students can be found throughout the greater Rochester area, as well as throughout the United States, putting into practice their Warner-based grounding as innovative, practical, and rigorously trained professionals working to transform their schools and to lift the lives of teachers, students, and their communities. Since joining the university faculty in 1997, Professor Brent has distinguished himself as an award-winning teacher, prolific scholar, and engaged colleague. Often sought as a mentor, he has sponsored approximately 70 dissertations and has been a member of roughly 175 dissertation committees. A record. A record for the Warner School, if not the university. His students see in him a gifted educator who can make the most challenging administrative courses come alive, and they have come to know him as a person who encourages them even when their experiences and circumstances present seemingly insurmountable odds. A true citizen of the university, Professor Brent has willingly taken on roles as department chair, associate dean, and interim dean of the school. His leadership as the school moved quickly to online learning in the last year has been recognized as a model of stewardship and community building. But his most lasting legacy can be found in the deep appreciation of his students, who value his commitment as a teacher and a friend. President Mangelsdorf, I present Brian Brent for the William H. Riker University Award for Excellence in Graduate Teaching.
We are proud to recognize Brian Brent for the indelible imprint he has left on the educational fabric of the Warner School, the University of Rochester, and schools throughout the United States. We are proud to present him the William H. Riker University Award for Excellence in Graduate Teaching.
Thank you.
That wasn't in the manual. Thank you. Thank you, President Mangelsdorf and Dean Sturgeapple. I also want to extend my sincerest thanks to Deans Payray and Jafrida of the Warner School and all the many colleagues and candidates that I've had the pleasure of working with these past 25 years. I must say, when I was told I'd have the opportunity to share some brief remarks, a thought immediately came to mind. I have a large, esteemed, well-attired, and captive audience. It would be a great opportunity for me to talk about my favorite topic, property taxes. But in the honor of Professor Riker, in the spirit of the award, I think I'll share some remarks and reflections on teaching and mentoring. Many years ago, there was a very popular book titled, All I Really Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten. The author, Robert Fulghum, held that the wisdom of how to live and what to do is not at the top of the graduate school mountain, but in the sandbox at school. It is there one learns to share, to play fair, and to wash your hands before eating. I can say that all I really needed to learn about teaching and mentoring, I learned from my father. He was a high school teacher who taught in the same district, the same school, the same classroom, and truth be told, the same suit for nearly 40 years. I once asked him, how do you do it year after year? After all, Romeo and Juliet is Romeo and Juliet. And he said, at first he was confused by my question, but then he was certain of his answer. Each year the kids changed. You don't teach a class, he said. You engage Carrie, Kai, and Keisha. And as if sharing the greatest truth he followed, to engage a student, you must truly value them as an individual. Since I've come to understand that valuing each individual is the foundation of meaningful teaching and mentoring. But to value individual learners, one must first acknowledge and dismantle the power dynamics that exist between a faculty and a candidate. In our role, we are quick to note that we assign grades, but students earn them, as if somehow we can forego the responsibility of what they've learned and what they've earned. We provide candidates with opportunities to support our research, though calling it a collaboration would describe it just as well. We evaluate and sometimes lose sight that our purpose is to educate. In an effort to set aside real and perceived asymmetric power relationships, I've come to favor Brian to professor or doctor, mentor to advisor, and colleague to student. In truth, whether in the classroom, the office, or the field, I am simply sharing what I've learned with another. Valuing each individual also requires that you reflect continuously on what you are teaching. At the Warner School of Education, our mission is in part to make the world more just and humane by preparing researchers and practitioners to effect change that improves people's lives. As Dean Sturgeapple noted, in large part, I stand before you today because of the success of our Educational Leadership Doctoral Program. In short, about 20 years ago, my colleagues and I evaluated our small and struggling EDD program, a program one area superintendent described as hard, expensive, and irrelevant. After an informed analysis that included input from multiple stakeholders, we revised the curriculum in full. The program remains hard. We concede, and many of you can attest, that we're still expensive, but we have strong evidence that we're relevant. Over the ensuing years, our program has grown 20-fold, and our graduates have advanced Warner's mission by assuming a large and growing number of educational leadership positions: department chairs, principals, superintendents, deans, provosts, and college presidents. To value each individual, one must not only continue to reflect on what you teach, but how to do it well. At 22 years old, it would be impossible for me to conceive that I would be standing before you today, honored for teaching. At 22, I was so genuinely fearful of speaking publicly that I put off until the last semester of my senior year the first year public speaking required course. At the close of the course, when it came time for me to make my speech, I chose the demonstration option and demonstrated how to drink wine properly. Needless to say, I practiced extensively for that demonstration. Now, I don't prepare for my current courses by practicing how to teach wine, but one must earnestly prepare for every class and every meeting with a candidate. To you, it may seem like another class, another meeting, another thesis or dissertation chapter to review. But to the candidate, it is the focus of their day, an important step in their scholarly development and their personal journey, and one must recognize and regard it as such. Many of you have or will come to understand the competition that can arise between research, teaching, and mentoring. However, one must never regard a candidate in your course or lab whose thesis or dissertation you are reviewing as a means to another end. They are ends in themselves. To close, it is in kindergarten where one is supposed to learn and share, to play fair. But in my experience in the academy, these actions often don't come easily. Your generation of graduates need prevail where others, including mine, have stalled, have stumbled, and must now advance with purpose. If you are to truly value individuals as my father directed me, and make the world ever better, you will need to be vigilant in your efforts to make the academy, your labs, your concert halls, and your workplaces more inclusive, more diverse, more just, and more humane. I wish you the very best on your personal and our collective journey towards this essential end.
Will the candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy please rise? President Mangelsdorf, on behalf of the University Council on Graduate Education, I have the honor to present these learned candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy.
The University of Rochester, upon the recommendation of its faculties, admits each of you to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy and confers upon you all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree. I also offer my personal congratulations for your accomplishments, and I welcome you to the Fellowship of Scholars.
Please be seated.
Will the marshals please bring the Doctor of Philosophy candidates forward to receive their diplomas and to be hooded?
Rupam Acharya, Doctor of Philosophy, Computer Science. Tangriya Adams, Doctor of Philosophy, Clinical Psychology. Richard Afoakwa, Doctor of Philosophy, Electrical Engineering. Karen Albert, Doctor of Philosophy, Political Science. Mohammed Rafayet Ali, Doctor of Philosophy, Computer Science. Shoman Das, Doctor of Philosophy, Mathematics. Dilnoza Amerkalova, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemical Engineering. Joel Neville Anderson, Doctor of Philosophy, Visual and Cultural Studies. Stephen Armstrong, Doctor of Philosophy, Musicology. Benjamin Baker, Doctor of Philosophy, Music Theory. Allison Brower, Doctor of Philosophy, Mechanical Engineering. Jahira Kapayan, Doctor of Philosophy, Health Practice Research. C. Chen, Doctor of Philosophy, Pharmacology. Sutirtho Chowdhury, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemistry. Allison Average Chesla, Doctor of Philosophy, Epidemiology. Lynn Dong, Doctor of Philosophy, Education. Helen Davies, Doctor of Philosophy, English. Uku Demir, Doctor of Philosophy, Electrical Engineering. Zuhair Desai, Doctor of Philosophy, Political Science. Robert Draham, Doctor of Philosophy, Optics. Ashley Fields, Doctor of Philosophy, Toxicology. Naomi Gregory, Doctor of Philosophy, Musicology. John Tao Gu, Doctor of Philosophy, Visual and Cultural Studies. Denise Herr, Doctor of Philosophy, Toxicology. Ashley Holub, Doctor of Philosophy, Epidemiology. Erin Finnig, Doctor of Philosophy, Optics. Lauren Farovich, Doctor of Philosophy, Translational Biomedical Science. Nabil Hossein, Doctor of Philosophy, Computer Science. Catherine Hutchings, Doctor of Philosophy, Musicology. Andrew Kless, Doctor of Philosophy, History. Hannah Lawson, Doctor of Philosophy, Biology. Ju Hin Lee, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemistry. Allison Christofferson, Doctor of Philosophy, Mechanical Engineering. Philip Lawal, Doctor of Philosophy, Physics. Marina Maria Ioanniti, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemical Engineering. Zhang Liu, Doctor of Philosophy, Biomedical Engineering. Killian Lucas, Doctor of Philosophy, Biomedical Engineering. Philip Meacham, Doctor of Philosophy, Epidemiology. Umberto Mestri, Doctor of Philosophy, Neuroscience. Aaron Mahalko, Doctor of Philosophy, Optics. Anastasia Nicholas, Doctor of Philosophy, English. Jessica Orth, Doctor of Philosophy, Health Services Research and Policy. Samuel Reenan, Doctor of Philosophy, Music Theory. Jessica Robinson, Doctor of Philosophy, Developmental Psychology. Sydney Simpson, Doctor of Philosophy, Microbiology, and Immunology. M. Susan Stanek, Doctor of Philosophy, Nursing, and Health Science. Jane Sylvester, Doctor of Philosophy, Musicology. Nick Takaki, Doctor of Philosophy, Optics. Alexis Van Zalen, Doctor of Philosophy, Musicology. Janelle Veazey, Doctor of Philosophy, Microbiology, and Immunology. Denise Vega Ocasio, Doctor of Philosophy, Translational Biomedical Science. Siju Wang, Doctor of Philosophy, Health Services Research and Policy. Candice Wang, Doctor of Philosophy, Toxicology. Se-Min Yu, Doctor of Philosophy, Mathematics. Anis Zaman, Doctor of Philosophy, Computer Science. And now I would like to announce the candidates for Doctor of Philosophy who are going to be joining us today virtually. Nicholas Battaglia, Doctor of Philosophy, Microbiology, and Immunology. Tharindra D'Souza, Doctor of Philosophy, Biochemistry. Minja Deng, Doctor of Philosophy, Economics. Antonio Jose Garzon Ramirez, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemistry. Olga Gasparian, Doctor of Philosophy, Political Science. Sahar Hushem Galugurdi, Doctor of Philosophy, Electrical Engineering. Zaiben Huang, Doctor of Philosophy, Economics. Nadine Hilton, Doctor of Philosophy, Education. Lee Keo, Doctor of Philosophy, Education. Srinath Kizakum Parath Manikandan, Doctor of Philosophy, Physics. Christian Moravi Meneses, Doctor of Philosophy, Economics. Fabiana Rita Oliveira de Silva, Doctor of Philosophy, Geosciences. Priyanka Saminathan, Doctor of Philosophy, Microbiology and Immunology. Roxanne Stevenson, Doctor of Philosophy, Biology. Shujing Sun, Doctor of Philosophy, Business Administration. Antonio Tinoco Valencia, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemistry. Shirlene Wade, Doctor of Philosophy, Brain and Cognitive Sciences. Peng Wang, Doctor of Philosophy, Education, and Pingli Wang, Doctor of Philosophy, Business Administration.
Will all of the Doctor of Philosophy graduates please rise to be recognized? Please be seated.
Will the candidates for the degree Doctor of Musical Arts in the Eastman School of Music please rise? President Mangelsdorf, on behalf of the faculty of the Eastman School of Music, I have the honor to present these gifted candidates for the degree Doctor of Musical Arts.
The University of Rochester, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the Eastman School of Music, admits each of you to the degree of Doctor of Musical Arts, confers upon you all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree, and congratulates you for your considerable achievements in one of the humanities' most important endeavors. Will the marshals please bring the Doctor of Musical Arts candidates forward to receive their diplomas and be hooded?
Ji-Hye An, Doctor of Musical Arts, Performance and Literature, Piano. Yi Young Chen, Doctor of Musical Arts, Performance and Literature, Piano. Nathan Chung, Doctor of Musical Arts, Performance and Literature, Piano. Mei An Cho, Doctor of Musical Arts, Piano Accompanying and Chamber Music. Elizabeth Kreka, Doctor of Musical Arts, Performance and Literature, Piano. Chase Ellison, Doctor of Musical Arts, Jazz Studies and Contemporary Media. Stephen Charles Felix, Doctor of Musical Arts, Performance and Literature, trumpet. Aaron Feuderer, Doctor of Musical Arts, Performance and Literature, horn. Caleb Hopkins, Doctor of Musical Arts, conducting. Spencer Phillips, Doctor of Musical Arts, Performance and Literature, double bass. Nash Ryder, Doctor of Musical Arts, Performance and Literature, violin. Marie Smith, Doctor of Musical Arts, Performance and Literature, horn. Austin Carl Wall, Doctor of Musical Arts, Performance and Literature, guitar. Yi Sheng, Doctor of Musical Arts, Performance and Literature, flute. And now I would like to announce the candidates for the degree Doctor of Musical Arts who are attending virtually. Cameron Foreman, Doctor of Musical Arts, Performance and Literature, piano. Keely Feuderer, Doctor of Musical Arts, Performance and Literature, voice. A. Nathaniel Gums, Doctor of Musical Arts, Performance and Literature, organ. And Daniel Kuehler, Doctor of Musical Arts, Performance and Literature, piano.
Will the Doctor of Musical Arts graduates please stand to be recognized by the audience? Please be seated.
Will the candidates for the degree Doctor of Education in the Warner School of Education and Human Development please rise? President Mangelsdorf, on behalf of the faculty of the Warner School of Education, I have the honor to present these scholarly candidates for the degree of Doctor of Education.
The University of Rochester, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the Warner School of Education, admits each of you to the degree of Doctor of Education, confers upon you all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree, and congratulates you on your achievements in education and human development. Will the marshals please bring the Doctor of Education candidates forward to receive their diplomas and hoods?
Miguel Baiku, Doctor of Education, Educational Administration with specialization in higher education. Alexa Basile, Doctor of Education, Teaching and Curriculum. Samantha Boccacino, Doctor of Education, Educational Administration with specialization in higher education. Kimberly Buholtz, Doctor of Education, Educational Administration with specialization in higher education. Margaret Ann Cousin, Doctor of Education, Educational Administration with specialization in higher education. Lindsay Chamberlain, Doctor of Education with Educational Administration with specialization in higher education. Brian Cornell Cool, Doctor of Education, Counseling and Human Development with specialization in human development. Shasha Sui, Doctor of Education, Educational Administration with specialization in higher education. Jolene Detman, Doctor of Education, Educational Administration with specialization in K-12 schools. Kevin Fairbairn, Doctor of Education, Educational Administration with specialization in K-12 schools. Harold Fields, Doctor of Education, Educational Administration with specialization in higher education. Tracy Glazer, Doctor of Education, Teaching and Curriculum. Walisa Griffin, Doctor of Education, Educational Administration with specialization in higher education. Valeria Hill, Doctor of Education, Educational Administration with specialization in K-12 schools. Latoya Mignon, Doctor of Education, Counseling and Human Development with specialization in human development. Chibueza Anmunaka, Doctor of Education, Educational Administration with specialization in K-12 schools. Terry Orden, Doctor of Education, Educational Administration with specialization in K-12 schools. Lee Sana, Doctor of Education, Teaching and Curriculum. Joanna Santos, Doctor of Education, Educational Administration with specialization in higher education. Erin Schneider, Doctor of Education, Educational Administration with specialization in K-12 schools. Julianne Schnibbe, Doctor of Education, Educational Administration with specialization in higher education. Tara Serwetnik, Doctor of Education, Educational Administration with specialization in higher education. Scott Sheehan, Doctor of Education, Educational Administration with specialization in higher education. Lawrence Joseph Wall, Doctor of Education, Educational Administration with specialization in K-12 schools. Justin Young, Doctor of Education, Educational Administration with specialization in higher education. Megan Weidman, Doctor of Education, Educational Administration with specialization in K-12 schools. And now I would like to announce the candidates for the degree Doctor of Education who are attending virtually. Colleen Miles, Doctor of Education, Counseling and Human Development with specialization in Human Development. Dave Butcher, Doctor of Education, Counseling and Human Development with specialization in counseling.
Will all the Doctor of Education graduates please rise to be recognized by the audience? Please be seated.
Will the candidates for the degree Doctor of Nursing Practice in the School of Nursing please rise? President Mangelsdorf, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Nursing, I have the honor to present these exceptional candidates for the degree of Doctor of Nursing Practice.
The University of Rochester, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the School of Nursing, admits you to the degree of Doctor of Nursing Practice, confers upon you all of the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree, and congratulates you for your considerable achievements in nursing and healthcare. Will the Doctor of Nursing Practice candidates walk forward to receive their diploma and be hooded?
Lori Athens, DNP, Clinical Nurse Leader. Lynn Cole, DNP, Pediatric Nurse Practitioner. Shanice Griffin, DNP, Clinical Nurse Leader. Victor Hernandez, DNP, Pediatric Nurse Practitioner. Jacqueline Dennison, DNP, Pediatric Nurse Practitioner. Kaylee Scott, DNP, Clinical Nurse Leader. Sherry Witchhaber, DNP, Clinical Nurse Leader.
Will the Doctor of Nursing Practice graduates please rise to be recognized by the audience? Please be seated.
Given your talents, your intelligence, and your education, you are now prepared for the next great chapters in your lives. This is a class of doctorates that has shown the capacity to aim high in a very challenging world. On behalf of all of us in the University of Rochester community, I congratulate all of you on this extraordinary academic achievement. Another round of applause for the class of 2021. Now we request that you please rise for our Recessional March and remain in your places until the academic procession has left the theater.